What up, YouTube? Flying Speaks back, another video. I did a video on this before, but I'm gonna address it again because it's kind of all over the place. It's subject dealing with Becky Lynch and whether or not it was a mistake for WWE to go with Becky Lynch over Liv Morgan as the champion. Now, I'm going to try to offer some understanding as to why Triple H and Creative went this way as opposed to going with Liv Morgan, who the fans would have wanted, I'm sure. And different fans, just want something different. Listen, would I have preferred to see Liv Morgan or someone else walk out of there with the title as opposed to Becky? At the time, yeah. I really, when they announced Rhea Ripley put down the belt and that they would have a battle royal, Becky Lynch wasn't on my mind because at the time I was told, or from what I was hearing, is that she was on vacation at the time. She was going away for a little bit. And I actually thought that would be good for her, good for Seth, and the family and so on. All right. But then I knew when Becky showed up, with the outfit on, the red and black outfit. Okay. And they gave her all that microphone time before the wrestling match. I knew they were going to go to her. It was easy to see this is what they were going to do. Now, I'm going to give you reasons why for Triple H, because I think it's important to try to see things through his perspective. And not so much always, what you want to see as a fan. Because fans oftentimes, they're not looking for what's better, but they just want something new or something different, something fresh. We live in an age of pop culture, and I'm not really a person that I think is subject to it because, to this day, I still wear Air Max, sneaks. You know what I mean? I still wear Nike sweatpants that people were wearing back in the early 2000s. Because if I like something, I like it, irregardless of the time or era. Like, that plays no part. Like, musically, I still listen to Nas, and stuff like that. Jay-Z, that's me, because good music is good music. It doesn't have to be 2024, 1990, whatever. But that's beside the point. About that. People love what's fresh, what's new, and this is something about the modern wrestling fan that I'm just starting to accept it. It is what it is. That's the mindset. That's just the way they are. But Triple H, as a businessman, he has a number of things he has to consider. All right, number one, Becky Lynch is eating up a nice chunk of the payroll that they have set aside for WWE stars. Nice chunk of it. So she's going to be used, whether we like it or not. That's just the way that goes. It's the same with a basketball team, a football team, or anything like that. If an owner pays for a member of the Philadelphia Eagles to be a starting wide receiver, and he's getting $20 million a year, that wide receiver is going to play, usually, even if his backup is outperforming him. And this pisses people off, but, this is the way rich people think. They want to get a return on their investment. It's just the way they think. And Becky Lynch is, on one hand, a way to get a return on the investment. Okay, that's from the business standpoint. From creative standpoint, creative, you have to understand, they can go like risky or they can go safe. And here, choosing Becky Lynch is a choice to go safe. And this is what they're doing. You got to see, Triple H for the last year has had a surprise. And honestly, the most phenomenal women's champion that they may have had. Really, since probably of the era in Rhea Ripley. And this is Triple H kind of lucked out with it. Rhea Ripley is someone, since NXT, you knew he wanted to invest something in. But he had no idea that she would be as great as she was. Once paired with Judgment Day. Or, once made a member of Judgment Day, the whole thing with Dom. She helped to put him over, help with the faction, and just everything Rhea Ripley had. She was one of the most phenomenal champions that he had. Her fandom, her popularity, it's just through the roof. All right, so Triple H is looking at the momentum that it was gained through Becky Lynch. Through Rhea Ripley and all of that. Now, Rhea is on the shelf for a minute. We don't know how long. So, Triple H, as a businessman, he wants to keep the same momentum. And he does not know if Liv Morgan is able to carry it. Maybe she can. Maybe she can't. But apparently, he's not sure. And so he's going to go with someone that he knows. Becky Lynch will be a good champion. At the very least, Becky Lynch will be a good champion with the chance of being a great champion. That's the thing with Becky. She's safe. Number one, she's eating up a lot of the payroll, and she's safe. Just think about it. If you're Triple H, with Becky Lynch, you have someone that can headline a Raw for you. Let's say you keep her on Raw as the Raw Women's Champion. She can headline Raw for you. Headline the matches on Raw. You can run a storyline with her on Raw. She's the person that can do the opening for the show on Raw. With Becky, she's safe. If you have a show to do, a 3-hour show, you can plug her in to handle her part. That's something Triple H knows. With Liv Morgan, maybe not. He's not certain. And we don't know what type of trial runs and test runs they may have tried with her in the background. And we don't know what he knows from the standpoint of whether or not Liv Morgan could carry a show. You gotta understand that. Like, these are all of the things he's thinking about. Right? He's not just thinking about, okay, well, I need someone new and someone fresh. I know as fans, we don't want to think about that, or we don't think about that. But these are the realities that exist when running a business. All right, so you got that going on. And then also Becky, and I don't want to bring too much of the content that I know goes over people's heads, but WWE right now is in line with a lot of some real big time Hollywood individuals, some real big time billionaire type of tycoonish type of people. Most of these people, man, they follow Masonic orders. They adhere to many of the ancient mystery systems. They adhere to many of the actors' screen guild, things that are connected to guilds. All right, and the key word there is a guild. Know that the actors is an actors guild. That guild has a lineage which goes back to the original guilds of Greek theater creative, which goes back to the creator of theater. All right, thespian. The word thespian, which is an actor, comes from the name Thespis, who was an ancient Greek not magician, but what's the word I'm looking for? Religious leader. Okay? As you know, the ancient Greeks were pagans. He was Thespis was a minister. What's the word I'm looking for here? Wow. Who served, but he was a minister who served Pan and Dionysus, okay, those deities. Do you know that Greek theater was actually not just a place, that they went out and watched and had fun like theater now? Theater in those days was an offering to Dionysus and the lesser god Pan, who was part of Dionysus' retinue. All right, not to get too much into that. Okay, but in all of those Greek theaters and Greek plays, you had different roles, and you had different I'm gonna say archetypes. Okay, you had different characters. Back in those days, most of the heroes had to overcome the gods or to seek and get favor from gods. This was a big part of theater back then. All right. It's not exactly the same now. People don't worship those things. People are Christians and, Jews and other types of religions. But however, when you talk about the actor screen guilds, they still follow many of the same principles and adhere to some of the archetypes. Like, for example, as I said in a previous video, in WWE, you have the one who is the archetype of the mother goddess, and then you have the archetype of the warrior goddess. Okay. In this case with WWE, Charlotte Flair is the one that is the mother goddess, and Becky Lynch is the warrior goddess. You can just tell by the way she dresses. This is everything, she fits it perfectly. All right. When you're a new wrestler coming in, you typically have to either overcome one or gain favor of one of them. What's happening right now with Liv is they're not going to just give it to her until she overcomes Becky, which is the same thing that Bianca Belair had to do as well. And it's clear. It was clear to me when they had Becky Lynch knock Bianca Belair out in 27 seconds. All of those things are significant. The number 27, all of that. I'm not going to go into it because it's not the type of content everybody's into. But the whole thing was Bianca Belair had to overcome Becky Lynch in order to attain the position that she has in the company. It's bullshit, but these are the things that they do, right? It's weird, but these are the things that they do in Hollywood. All right, so that's part of what's happening with Liv Morgan. And as a person who kind of understands the way these people move, I'm not surprised by any of it, from the business standpoint, from the creative standpoint, then also from the ideological standpoint, which is what's happening right now with Liv. All right, but don't worry. They'll start a feud with her, Liv, and Becky. Liv will probably, I don't know if she'll get the title at Backlash, or I don't know if they're stretching out to SummerSlam. It may be kind of centered around when Rhea comes back. One thing's for certain, Rhea has her eyes set on Liv. So, Liv Morgan will be the champion when Rhea Ripley comes back. Unless Liv is hurt or something like that. All right, so, Liv Morgan fans, don't worry. These things are happening because this is partly Triple H being safe, it's partly money, and it's partly ideology. But when Rhea comes back, Liv will be the champ. All right, peace.